Asset seizures are becoming increasingly common throughout the Western world. Government agencies routinely seize bank accounts and assets. This can be based on little more than suspicion that a crime has been committed. In the U.S., asset seizures can happen, even if there's only the most innocuous link to a crime. Under asset forfeiture regulations, police and other law enforcement agencies can seize assets on suspicion of a crime. They don't have to prove any crime was committed. The burden of proof is reversed, and you must prove that your assets are not connected to crime to reverse the asset seizure. Houses, cars, and cash are routinely seized by police forces in the U.S. 80% of those who are subject to asset seizures are never charged with a crime. Here are 5 things you can do to protect yourself. Don't keep money in your country of residence or citizenship. Any assets held in your country of citizenship or residence are at grave risk. Governments everywhere are increasingly using asset seizures not to tackle crime, but to increase their budgets. Own real estate overseas. Real estate owned overseas can't be easily seized by your government. As real estate held overseas is not reportable to your government, they shouldn't even know that you own it. It can also be used to get residency and citizenship in certain countries. Hold your assets in a foundation or trust. A foundation or a trust, by its very nature, can't have an owner. Although they can't be owned, they can be controlled by the founder. This gives the unique benefit of keeping assets under your control but not legally owning them. Use overseas companies to conduct business. Overseas companies don't need to be traditional offshore companies. They only need to be incorporated outside the jurisdiction where you live. That means that your government can't monitor them. Make sure assets in your country of residence and citizenship are owned by an overseas company, or your overseas company owns the mortgage. Even if you do everything correctly with overseas companies and bank accounts, you're likely to own assets in the country where you live. Things that you may use day to day are going to be the first items at risk of seizure. The way to deal with this is to either have them owned directly by an overseas company, or for the overseas company or trust to have a security over the asset. For example, you could lease your car from your overseas company. The foundation you control can have a mortgage on your house. That means that if any predator tries to seize your assets, it'll be impossible. These are just a few of the techniques you can use to avoid asset seizures. In today's world, it's difficult to know where the next problem may arise. In the US, houses have been seized because offspring have used drugs there. In the UK, assets have been confiscated from people that can't prove where their money came from. These laws are getting more draconian every year. If you have wealth, it's important to safeguard it. For the latest strategies and tips to protect yourself against asset seizures, see our report, Bulletproof Asset Protection. The link is in the description.